Guys and dolls, so no feeling it today. Really not feeling it. Came out, no felt right this morning, and it can only be the video what's going about. So seen it this morning, seen it last night before I went to bed, and then I seen it this morning on Paul Thorpe's channel. Now, I've been humming and hawing about bringing it to you because it's difficult. It is difficult. There's no two ways about it. I'm not feeling it today. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know, guys. But you know, I'm. It wasn't. There's no. I can't. I can't say. Oh, it's definitely that or this. All I know is I'm not feeling it. Just can't. No spark. No spark today. So just make sure this lens is clean, guys. Um, so what I'm gonna do after thinking about it, I'm gonna put the video at the end of this. So I am right at the very end. Um, so you'll get fair warning it's coming, and if you've seen it, don't watch it again. Okay, don't watch it again, guys. That's my advice. You know what I mean. And I know, a lot of people be thinking, "Ah, freedom, dad, you're full of this, full of that, whatever." You know what I mean? Because there is men out there that this doesn't affect. You know what I mean? And that's fair enough. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, it affects me. It definitely. I'm learning a wee bit now because there's no, there's no light bulb comes on. I'm just noticing doing these videos that every time I look at something or something like that, it's always been something like that. When you're really thinking about the girls, it's heartbreaking. I've really struggled. I'm trying to not go even talk about it right now because I wouldn't be able to get this video out. I really wouldn't. I'm close to breaking. I really am. Um, and it's no big deal. It's no, I'll go for a wee walk and I'll go back and I'll just stay in the day. You know what I mean? Hopefully later on I'll feel a bit better. And but it's I understand that there's guys out there that this just makes them angry and that's it. You know what I mean? I've sort of passed the angry bit because I've been doing this for so long. And can you imagine how Tommy feels? Can you imagine how that man feels? All these years screaming from the rooftops and being silenced. This is why they've been silencing them. This is it, guys. This is it in a nutshell, now. This is what it's all about. The same way they're not paying for the inquiries, this is what it's all about because they're all guilty. Keir Starmer has been compromised, guys. There's things going about, and I'm telling you now, he's been compromised. They've got something on him, something really horrific. Can you see how what they're doing? So, obviously a lot of us have known this, but it's not something that we think about. You can't think about it. You can't do that to yourself. 2 seconds. A nervous dog walker. Dog straight in the lead. But yeah, it's to have this in your head, in your life. There's a lot of people who will just be getting this into their head. But Tommy's had this in his head for a long time, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's a lot worse that's happened to these girls than what's being said in this video. A lot worse. And why would anybody silence that? Why would anybody not want to warn other parents that these men are doing this to their children? Because it's not just pedophiles. It's not just the odd wrongian. These are guys that are systematically targeting Christian children, white Christian children, following the book, the Quran, telling the victims that this is Muhammad's wishes more than less. Oh. And since Tommy's been shouting about this for the last 15, 20 years, look at the state of the country now. Look at our parliament. Look at our members of parliament for Britain. The British getting kicked out of Israel. A Chinese woman, and I don't know where the other girl's from. I don't know if they were born in this country or what's going on, but I know they seem to be invested in their own countries a wee bit more than our country, and it doesn't make any sense that all these members of parliament wanting airports in Pakistan. What is going on? Stormer bringing out Eid and the Ramadan and like making a big deal of it. Why? 6.5% of this country is Muslim. 6.5% of this country is Muslim. Well, it's probably a lot more than that. I'll be honest with you. I'll put it at about 10%. 9% I would go with, because that's just the figures that the government are prepared to let us know. That's all the people that's in here illegally and all the rest of it, and are paying taxes, and they've got a record of them. Can you understand why people are worried? Can you understand why Tommy Robinson has been trying to warn everybody? Can you understand the persecution this man's actually gone through? And now you can understand why. It was so they could keep doing what they're doing and get people in power that would shut us up, bring laws in. They're wanting that. We've got men from other countries in power wanting to make cousin marriages legal. They've got Sharia courts in our country. Sharia courts. What happened to the Crown Justice? Don't even know who our king is. He doesn't represent Christianity or the country. Everybody, I'm not everybody. You just need to go onto any platform and look at anything that they put up and look at the comments. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's really, really embarrassing to be British right now. And then it's just like England. It's unrecognisable. Totally unrecognisable, guys. And Tommy Robinson's lying in solitary confinement to protect these children. He's been called a racist and far right. Every time he spoke about this, he's been called a racist and far right by your Narinder Kaurs and your Owen Joneses. And all these people are implicit in the rape of our children, guys. All these people. Every single person that's called Tommy Robinson a far right racist is implicit. Dog walkers. Come here. When Tommy Robinson was calling out these crimes against our children by these religiously motivated, the most horrific type you can have, we've never seen anything like this in our country before. When Tommy Robinson was calling all that out, trying to tell people what was truly going on, every single man and woman, Piers Morgan, every single one of yous are all implicit. Yous are all as guilty as the men that done these crimes by silencing the men who tried to protect my child. These are all rich, all private school boys. You don't go anywhere near the working class. You haven't got a clue what it's like for us. You sit on your high horses in your mansions, in your leafy suburbs, with your summer houses in foreign countries, and you call one of our working class boys a racist because he's trying to highlight that. Well, we won't forget. We will not forget. None of yous. And no matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, if not with my dying breath, it'll be with my daughter's dying breath. But yous will be held accountable. Yous will all be held accountable. There's no two ways about it. Your families will know going forward what yous have done to our children, what yous have allowed to happen. Because the man who opens the door to let the monsters in is as guilty as the monsters, guys. Never forget that. The video is coming now. Please, if you've already seen it, don't watch it again. If you can imagine how horrific a man could be to a child, then that's enough. Please, there's nothing, you're going to get nothing satisfactory out of this video that's coming. And if you suffer from mental health, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's bad. It's just bad. It's just somebody talking about what happened to these girls, and it's bad. So, please, look after yourself. Look after the wee brother and the wee sister, Take my word from it. It's bad, and, we're getting it out there because it needs to get put out there. And we're not going to stop putting it out there, and we're not going to shut up, and we're going to keep going for as long as it takes. And if they take us off the internet, we'll go into the streets. Simple as that. Here's the video. God bless, guys.
I thank the Minister for advance sight of her statement. In January, the Home Secretary said the government would conduct 5 local inquiries into the rape gangs which have terrorised so many innocent children. Over 3 months since the government announced these local inquiries, Tom Crowther KC, a barrister invited by the Home Office to help establish them, knows almost nothing about their progress, and neither do we. Why is the framework for local inquiries now being led by ministers rather than by independent voices such as Tom Crowther? Why is the £5 million set aside for inquiries no longer being allocated but instead delivered on an opt-in basis? And what does the government intend to do about local leaders who say there is no need for an independent inquiry, like in Bradford or in Wales? The girls we are talking about, Mr. Speaker, are predominantly white. The men who preyed on them were predominantly Muslim, generally either from Pakistan or of Pakistani heritage. One of the victims from Dewsbury was told by her rapist, I quote, "We're here to fuck all the white girls and fuck the government." Will the minister accept that, in many cases, these crimes were racially and religiously aggravated? How, without a national inquiry, can we understand what part these factors played? There is no question that the state has failed these children time and again. Take the case of Anna from Bradford. Vulnerable and in residential care, at the age of 14, she made repeated reports of rape and abuse to social workers who were responsible for her. But just the following year, aged 15, she married her abuser in a traditional Islamic wedding ceremony. Far from stepping in to stop it, her social worker was aghast. The authorities then arranged for her to be fostered by her abuser's parents. The ringleader of the Rochdale rape gang, Shabir Ahmed, was employed as a welfare rights officer by Oldham Council. And yet not one person, not one, has been convicted for covering up these institutionalised rapes. So why have ministers refused to establish a dedicated unit in the National Crime Agency to investigate councillors and officials accused of collusion and corruption? And I am sorry to say that that unit, Mr. Speaker, must also investigate police officers. In one case, the father of an abuse victim in Rotherham was arrested by South Yorkshire Police when he attempted to rescue his daughter from her abusers. He was detained twice in one night while, on the very same evening, his daughter was repeatedly assaulted and abused by a gang of men. It is clear these criminals were unafraid of law enforcement. In Kirklees, Judge Marson said, "You were seen with your victim on at least 3 occasions by the police. None of that deterred you, and you continued to rape her." How, without a national inquiry, can we know how and why these monsters enjoyed effective immunity for so long, and how can we be sure it will not happen again? We on this side of the House have voted for a national inquiry and tabled amendments which would guarantee the publication of ethnicity data on a quarterly basis, terminate the parental rights of convicted sex offenders, and make membership of a grooming gang an aggravating factor during sentencing so that offenders get the longer, harsher sentences they deserve. Will the Minister commit today to adopting these amendments to protect our children? Finally, I would like to read to the House one particular ordeal, just one example of what these children have suffered. I must warn colleagues, and especially those in the gallery, that this is extremely graphic, but we must not look away or sanitise this evil. Sentencing Mohammed Karar of Oxford to life in prison, Judge Peter Rook said, "You prepared your victim, a 13-year-old girl, for gang anal rape by using a pump to expand her anal passage. You subjected her to gang rape by 5 or 6 men. At one point, she had 4 men inside her. A red ball was placed in her mouth to keep her quiet. When she was 12, after raping her, she threatened you with your lock knife. Your reaction was to pick up a baseball bat with a silver metal handle, strike her on the head with it, and then insert it inside her vagina. This is not about me. It is not about the Minister or the Home Secretary or any of us in this chamber. It is about them. Little girls up and down our country whose brutal and repeated rapes were permitted and hidden by those in the British state whose job was to protect them. They deserve justice. In 5 towns, these children and their families may get partial answers. But I have mentioned 5 towns in the last few minutes alone, and there are at least 45 more. In those places, they will get no answers at all. What does the Minister have to say to them? The British people deserve to know the truth. What darker truths does the suffering of these girls reveal about this country? And why won't the government find out.